sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
All right. Let's dive into this crazy Raptors win over the Hawks.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about it. The one where Toronto barely escaped with a win.
Yeah, it's a close one.
And we've got this Sports Illustrated article, Takeaways for Toronto as Raptors get crucial stops in upset versus Hawks.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one.
And there's some things about this game, some layers, that you might have missed with all the excitement.
Yeah, definitely. A lot more to it than just that 122-119 final. I mean, the Raptors had a 17-point lead at one point.
Wow.
That's a big lead to let slip away.
Yeah, especially considering it was only their second away win of the whole season, right?
Right.
But let's talk about Yoka Polt for a sec, the hero. I mean, this guy, he's usually known for his offense, but he completely locked down Trae Young.
Unbelievable.
Not once, but twice in those final moments.
Oh.
We're talking about an all-star, one of the fastest guards in the league, and Polt shut him down.
It was something else. A defensive clinic, basically. The article goes into those last couple plays.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, the first one, the Raptors timed their rotation perfectly, so Young couldn't even get a shot off.
Wow.
And then when he did get the ball again, Polt stayed right with him every step of the way.
Yeah.
It wasn't just love, he was playing some serious D, the kind you don't always see from Polt.
That's the kind of stuff that makes you appreciate the game, you know? Like, you see it on a whole other level. But we can't forget about the offense. Scottie Barnes had a huge night, 25 points.
Yeah, he was on fire.
And it wasn't just putting up numbers. He was aggressive, driving to the basket, drawing fouls in that fourth quarter, making things happen.
Barnes really thrives on that energy. You know, you could see it in this game. He was attacking the basket, not afraid of the Hawks' D. Still some room for improvement in his game, but, you know, it was a statement game for sure.
Yeah.
What stood out to you about his game?
Just his confidence. He just seems so sure of himself, like he could take on anyone. Speaking of confidence or lack thereof, how about Grady Dick? Remember when he was getting, well, constructively criticized online for those struggles at the rim earlier this season?
Ah, yeah. Tough for those younger players to deal with that kind of scrutiny, especially with social media and all.
Yeah, for sure.
But you know what? He seems to have used it as motivation. He's been hitting those tough layups recently, looking a lot more composed, driving to the basket. That alley-oop from Poulter was a thing of beauty, man.
And that dunk streak, it's like something clicked. And even that slick pass he had to Bruce Brown, setting him up for an easy score. What do you think? Is this for real or just a hot streak?
It's the million-dollar question, right? We've seen flashes of brilliance from Dick before. Can he keep this level of play consistent? That's what will decide his future on this team, especially with that trade deadline coming up.
Uh-oh.
The article pointed out something really interesting, actually. Bruce Brown and Chris Boucher, even though they combined for 35 points in this game, might actually be valuable trade assets for the Raptors.
Wait, so even though they're playing well, trading them away could be the best move. That doesn't make sense.
Doesn't it? It's all about the bigger picture sometimes. To build a championship team, you got to make those tough calls, even if it means letting go of guys who are doing well right now. It's about whether trading them fits with the Raptors' long-term goals. Yeah, it's a tough call. Like those pieces that fit right now, but do they fit the whole puzzle? The article talks about how moving Brown and Boucher could actually help the Raptors in the upcoming draft lottery.
Interesting. But trading away players, guys who are winning games, how does that help in the draft? Seems like you're making the team worse on purpose.
Well, it's a strategy, right? Some teams do it when they're not quite contenders, but not at the bottom either.
Yeah.
Trying to maximize their assets. You know,
Right.
Basically, the lower you are in the standings, the better your odds of getting a higher draft pick.
Makes sense.
And those top picks, those can be game changers, franchise-altering players.
So you're sacrificing some wins now for a shot at a superstar later. That's a big gamble. But what makes Brown and Boucher so attractive as trade assets? They're playing well for the Raptors right now.
Brown, he's been on a roll lately. Seems like he and Kelly Olynyk really click, you know?
They have been playing well together.
Olynyk's got a high basketball IQ, so that kind of chemistry is valuable. Plenty of teams could use a guy like Brown who can just, fit right in.
So what about Boucher? What makes him stand out?
Boucher, he brings versatility. He can play both forward positions, hit those threes, and brings energy on D. That kind of all-around player is valuable, especially for teams trying to make a playoff run.
So if the Raptors were to trade Brown and Boucher, what kind of return could they expect, realistically?
Well, the article says multiple second-round picks would be reasonable. But you never know, right? It all depends on demand, which teams are looking to make moves, and the Raptors front office, their negotiating skills.
It's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, a delicate dance, but the payoff could be huge.
It's interesting, seeing how these decisions play out. Like Olynyk, he's having a good season too. Consistently hitting those threes, facilitating the offense. Could he be on the trading block as well?
Well, the article focuses more on Brown and Boucher, but yeah, Olynyk's name could definitely come up. He's a veteran with valuable skills. A contender looking for a reliable shooter and playmaker off the bench might be interested. What do you think?
It makes sense, but it's always tough to see guys who are contributing get traded. The business side of basketball, I guess. Not just about wins and losses, it's about building for the long haul.
Exactly. Finding that balance, short-term gains versus long-term vision. The Raptors are definitely in a transition phase. Decisions like these will shape their future big time.
We've talked a lot about trading away players, but what about the young core the Raptors are trying to build? How does all this affect players like Barnes and Dick?
That's a great point. It's not just about getting assets. It's about, building the right environment for your young guys to thrive. If the Raptors think giving Barnes and Dick more playing time will help them grow, then yeah, trades that free up some minutes make a lot of sense.
So it's not just about adding through trades, it's about creating opportunities for the players you already have. Yeah, it's all connected. But you know what? Before we get too deep into all the strategy stuff, let's take a minute to appreciate those defensive plays from pullout. Shutting down Trae Young. Not exactly what you'd expect from him. It was like he was a wall out there.
Really was remarkable. Showed a different side of him. That defensive intensity, we haven't really seen that consistently before. Makes you wonder if this is a turning point,
Maybe, yeah. Like he's embracing a different role.
Could be.
And of course, we can't forget about Barnes. 25 points, attacking the basket, drawing those fouls. He was unstoppable.
Yeah, you could see his confidence growing with every play.
Absolutely. What'd you think of his performance overall?
I think Barnes has all the tools to be a star in this league, and this game was a glimpse of that. Those drives to the basket were impressive. He wasn't settling for jumpers. He was going right at the defense. That's what you want to see from a young player.
For sure. And then there's Dick, proving those critics wrong with some big plays lately. Dunks, that alley-oop, that pass to Brown. It's like a whole new level for him. Do you think he can keep this up?
It's promising, but consistency is key, right?
Right.
Can he bring that same energy and focus every single night? That's what separates the good from the great. Especially important now, with the trade deadline coming up. His development could really impact what the Raptors do.
So big picture time. We've got players exceeding expectations, trade rumors flying around, and a young core that needs room to grow. Sounds like the Raptors are at a crossroads. What's the most important thing for fans to take away from all this?
I think it's that the Raptors are in a really interesting spot. They've got options.
Yeah.
Could make a big move at the deadline, shake things up, go all in for the playoffs. Or they could focus on developing those young guys, maybe take a step back now to build for the future.
So it's not just about winning now, it's about making the right moves for long-term success. But here's the question we'll leave you with today. If you were the GM, what would you do? Trade away guys like Brown and Boucher to improve your draft position, or ride this wave and see where it goes? Tough call, no easy answer. But that's what makes this team so fun to follow, right? The possibilities are endless.